Hello everyone, this is Manali teacher from St. Paul's High School nursery section. Why are we gathered here today? To learn a new letter. So let us all revise what are the previous letters that we have learned so far. We have studied A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Yes? Let us now say all these letters again with their phonetic sounds. Are you ready? Keep your finger on the alphabet chart. I hope you have one. A, B, K, D, E, or E, F, G, H. So we know the names of all the letters from A to H and their phonetic sounds. If at all you have any doubt, you can check out our previous YouTube videos. The teacher is here to help you out. So, which is our next letter? Shall we say it all again? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Yes, H-I. So today we are here with me, you and me together are going to study letter I. Do you know what is the phonetic sound for letter I? Yes, it is going to be something new to learn. So let us get started with our lesson today. Letter I. Letter I sounds E. Quickly, you got to say E. E. It doesn't say E. No. It says E. E. Yes, letter I says E. At sometimes, letter I also says its own name, just like E, which is I. Letter I says its own name just like A does at times, right? I. So we learned two sounds for letter I, which is E, I. E, I. It depends on the word that we are reading. Yes, so for that we need to have visual knowledge and identification practice. Yes or no? Look around at different letters and words and objects, name them, ask for their names, learn them, and you will never go wrong with the phonetic sound for it. Let me show you some examples where letter I says E.
I says E, 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 insect. I says E, 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 igloo. I says E, 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 ink. I says E, 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 India. I says E, 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 Indians.
So I hope you understood that letter I says E sound very clearly. Now there are more examples where letter I says its own name, which is I. Let us look at it.
I says I, ice cream. I says I, island. I says I, ice. I says I, Iron Man.
I hope by now the sound differentiation between E and I used in which objects is clear with you all. Okay, look out for more examples and do mention in the comments below. Now we will head on to learn the pattern for writing letter I. Letter I is written with the most basic pre-writing patterns. Yes, you remember pre-writing skills we learned earlier? So letter I is written with the help of a standing line, sleeping line at the top, and another sleeping line at its bottom. Letter I. Don't you want to try it with teacher? Air writing, let's do it. Standing line, sleeping line, sleeping line. Wow! Once again, come on. Standing line, sleeping line, and sleeping line. This is capital letter I, and we shall practice it in our notebooks as well. Do you have your 4-line book ready? The red and blue line book E1 is what we name it, right? Write today's date, classwork, and here we go, learning to write letter I.
Here we go. In your red and blue line book, you can start writing letter I.
Before we begin with anything on our page, you know the rules. We write the current date. Yes, and since you are attending online class, it's still a classwork, isn't it? So class work stands for C.W. Now look at teacher how she's writing letter I. She made a standing line, sleeping line at the top, and another sleeping line at the bottom. There! You have to write the entire page with these simple 3 lines. Yes. Letter I. You can ask your parent or your brother, sister to help you with the dots and tracing. Yes? Letter I. This is how simple letter I is to write. Ask your elder to make dots or tracing lines up till 3 lines, because after that you are going to get used to it and you will write it just with the help of dot. Yes? Letter I. Do you remember what is the phonetic sound for letter I? I. Letter I says I. I also says I. I also says I. So on this day, we are going to learn how to draw an object related to the sound I. You would first make a triangle, an upside down triangle, okay, with the points facing down. Now with several jumping lines, you will make the top of the cone. Yeah, there is my fluffy filled ice cream. Give the design to the cone and add a cherry on top. There you are. An ice cream. Ice cream. Do you realize? We also discussed this in the pictures of sound I. Yes? I for ice cream. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Yes. We all love ice cream. I for ice cream. We love it. I. Letter I. So this is such an easy drawing. You can also draw this cone and fill it with your favorite flavored ice cream. Add a cherry on top and share images with us. Yes? How to write letter I? Standing line, sleeping line, another sleeping line gives letter I. I hope the lines where you need to mention the sleeping lines is clear with you. If not, no worries. Here we understand it better. From the dot, you always have a starting point, okay? Because you're tiny tots. So from the red line, make a standing line up till the second blue line. Now, you will take the tip of your pencil back to the red line just a little before the place that you started and make a sleeping line further than the space where there is standing line. Right, so you basically started before the standing line and crossed the standing line, making the sleeping line. Right? Now the same thing shall be repeated on the second blue line, where the standing line ends. It is that easy. You all have practiced letter I, right? Yes? You know how? With the pre-writing skills. Did you know it was so easy? No? Yes? So this is letter I. We learned 2 sounds for letter I and I. Here is a picture for letter I sounding I. I for ice cream. I. So we are done with 1 page. Yay! Let's move on to the second page. The same shall be repeated. You will write the current date. You will mention C.W. And then get started with writing letter I. Now you are used to writing letter I. Don't forget, before writing both the pages, you can take a 5-minute break. Yes? Letter I. Standing line, sleeping line, another sleeping line makes letter I. But there's a surprise. Yes, a new page comes with a new drawing. Today we are going to draw an object with another sound of letter I. What was the previous sound we drew for? We drew for I says I for ice cream. Now we are drawing for I says I. I. Let's find out what object starts from I. Make a semicircle, a jumping curve, 2 jumping curve, join them both with sleeping line and make a series of sleeping and standing lines to portray ice cubes, and there it's an igloo. It's an igloo. I says I, igloo. Igloo. Remember, dear children, I says igloo. Here we look at it again. 2 jumping curves, different sizes. Join the outer one to the inner one with sleeping line. Make several sleeping lines inside and standing line at occasional spaces. And you will make an igloo. So easy to make an igloo. Did you ever think? One more thing. Don't say I says E. No, it says I. A quick E. Okay? I says I. Quickly. I says I. Igloo. You have to practice all the objects related to this letter. You have to make sure that you are using the correct beginning sound of this letter. You cannot say I says ice cream. You cannot say I says I igloo. I glue. No. It is igloo. Ice cream. So you need to practice. This can only be developed and you can get better at it only with repetition, daily practice. That's why they say practice does not only make a man perfect, but our nursery children also perfect. Doesn't it? So here, so many igloos here. So many I for igloos here. I guess we all can fit in here. One for each one of us. I for igloo. I says igloo. Are you all drawing the igloo? Let me have a look at it. Come on, show it on the screen. Oh, wow. That's a good drawing. Keep it up. That's I for igloo. Igloo. Teacher is almost about to complete. Have you finished the page? Have you reached the end? Don't worry. Always write slowly, steadily. Why? Because neatness is what is needed. Okay? Maintain the writing pace and the writing quality. I. Standing line, sleeping line, another sleeping line at the top and bottom makes letter I. I says igloo. I for igloo. This is how your final page should look like. Well done. Wow. You all wrote 2 whole pages of letter I and learned to draw 2 objects related to it. This improves so much in you. That's great. Keep it up and keep the pace going. Revision of the previous letter and the new letter shall be done on a daily basis. If you are done with the revision, next day you can try out games, match the picture with the letter, sound with the letter. There are many games available. Do try them out and keep studying online. Stay safe, stay home. Thank you so much. This is Manali teacher signing off. See you again in the next video.